Hello, everybody. Welcome to Studio A in Annenberg Media Center. I'm JD Black and joined today by Matthew Ring, the Ironman himself.
Hello, everyone. Great to be here today.
Thanks for joining us, Matt. Right off the bat, let's dive into your athletics.
Let's do it.
Matthew Ring, one of my good friends, but also an incredibly decorated triathlete. How many races have you done?
Total triathlons,
Yeah.
probably, I think in the 40s now, 45.
Wow.
Something triathlons, sprint distance, Olympics, all the way up to Ironman.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. And you've done 3 Ironmans, is that right?
Two
Ironmans.
Yes.
Okay. What would you say? I mean, obviously the training volume is a big difference for training for an Ironman. You're like spending a lot more time. Like, how do you not give up, I guess, when you're training for that?
Yeah. You can kind of choose how hard you want to push in these races. And it's really not just the battle of like finishing as fast as you can, but against like you and your body. How well did you prepare beforehand? And so, to answer your question on the training, I think the mental battle goes hand in hand with the physical piece. And
Sure.
so you're training going into the race, kind of ramping up, doing almost the full distance in the case of an Ironman, giving yourself time to recover, and then backing off before the race puts you in a great spot to do well.
Okay, so for your Ironmans then that you've done,
Yeah.
would you say that you were prepared well, or do you think you could have been more prepared?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, being prepared and like prepared enough is something that I feel like as an athlete, you have to decide what that means to you. Am I in this race because someone paid me $100 to just attempt it, and I just want to see how far I can get? There's plenty of people doing that. There's maybe your goal is just to finish. You just want to get the medal, prove it to yourself. I know that's where I was when I did my first one and second one even. It was just to do it and see if it was possible. I would love to have been even faster, and I could have done that with more training, but it takes more time, more dedication, and there's other things to do in life too.
Was there any point during your Ironmans when you felt like, I don't know if I can do this, or I didn't prepare enough? Or
Sure.
Like, did you ever kind of have a panic moment?
I don't know if I ever had a full-on like panic moment, but I would say I had like this slower like feeling of dread in the end of both of the races.
In the end?
Yeah. There was moments during the run in both pieces where I had been feeling super strong, but keep in mind this is for like 7 or 8 hours, and there's still 3 or 4 more to go of this run. You're doing a whole marathon on tired legs after the bike ride. And so I remember like being at like mile 6 of the run and thinking, my legs are hurting now. Like, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got to the second one, I was like, I know I can do this, but it's going to hurt. And
Jeez.
so I ended up twisting my ankle at like mile 13, 14 of the second race that I did. And so I had to sit down for a while, and then I just started walking. I was like, I've got enough time before the cutoff. Like, if I have to walk for 6 hours here, I'm going to do it.
Wow.
Ended up being that I felt good enough to run slow after an hour of walking, but that's what it came to.
So, okay, what inspires you to do this stuff? Or
Sure. I mean, I'll take you back to my first triathlon experience that I ever had. My first race was in Santa Barbara, this like kids triathlon that I did with my parents and this other family I knew. It was like a 30-minute race. I just swam with my dad, and then I was on a kid's mountain bike, just enjoying it. And at the end, they give you a medal, they give you a t-shirt. They have all these free things. I remember getting like free cupcakes at the end of the race, and
nice.
And the whole environment was kind of like a little party after.
Yeah.
I was like, this is such a cool experience. It feels really good to have this race experience. And so I think it's kind of built on that over time, where it's like more races, there's new benefits. I'm always looking to see, like, do they have a massage table at the end of this, whether it be a marathon or a race. And a lot of the collegiate races we do don't have as many of those benefits, but it's still, I think that's part of the drive for me, is to like, have fun with friends, experience this new course. And so the Ironman was like the ultimate level of that. And for both races, I did with teammates too. And so that was super fun to kind of push ourselves and be in this new environment and just have a crazy weekend with it.
Yeah, no kidding. Crazy weekend is an understatement. Yeah.
Yeah.
In training for these very long distance events, you have some unique Strava maps. We'll say that. Why do these kinds of routes rather than just, an out and back or a loop, but instead, making a grid of the city or going to every Erewhon?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And I see you went back and found some good ones.
I did. I went and found some good ones.
Oh,
The Alice and
course.
Felix 5K, that's a classic. Or sorry, 50K.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sure, sure. So I would say some of these activities you pulled up, they might seem rather unorthodox. But I would argue, yeah, yeah, the Village Loop Marathon. As I've gotten into it more, I realized that like some people are content to just go back and forth on the same path each day, and that's great. But I'm not one of those people. I get bored quickly, and so I look for ways to make what would otherwise be really boring training into something interesting. So I'll start with the Village Loop Marathon here. The USC Village Loop is zero point 0.6 miles, so I don't know how many laps that was. I think it was 40, 50 something laps,
Wow.
just repeating,
That's
which
crazy.
sounds kind of boring, but I got to run it with my friend and we made it like a whole goal. We are like, no one's ever done this before. And it was more just to pick a goal and achieve it, even though it was crazy. And I feel like a lot of these other ones are the same way.
Yeah. Well, that adventurous side of you is also something that I wanted to talk about
Yeah,
because you've done almost like everything there is to do here, it seems like. You've really seen this city. What are the craziest adventures you've done?
sure, sure. I think some of it comes down to just it's the lifestyle that you want to live too. So like one of the things I'm most excited about in life is just exploring the area that we're in, whether it be hiking trips to Mexico because we can, it's a
Absolutely.
6 hour drive. I have a car and I'm like, we might as well like see what's out there and I don't know anyone that's done that. It takes some planning and logistics to do it safely, and it's also you never know what's coming. The example of climbing Mount Whitney in the winter,
Mm-hmm.
severe dehydration, 19-hour effort, not something I'd repeat again. But you don't know about how it's going to be until you get up there. A lot of it is very map based. So I'm looking on Google Maps to see like, oh, maybe it's a new mountain range I haven't visited yet, and I'm trying to plan like what would be the coolest thing to do here. And even when they're not that interesting or they're scary or there's problems, it's about figuring out how to rise up and meet the challenge in a safe way.
Yeah. And throughout all these adventures and everything, a lot of people, especially now with like the whole like protein craze, people are
Mhm.
eating a lot of meat, but you are a vegetarian.
Yes. Yes.
Could you speak to how that influences your training style or
Sure,
your
sure.
adventures or
Yeah. My family is vegetarian, and so I grew up kind of not eating that much meat, and I chose that like I guess it's been like 10 years ago now.
wow.
It's really helped me figure out like why I'm eating what I'm eating, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So looking at like why do certain foods have protein, certain ones are more carb heavy or more fats heavy, and they all play an important role. That comes directly into focus with long distance races like an Ironman, because you have to be super dialed in about what you're eating and when to keep your stomach happy. If you're not eating, you might be throwing up, you might be fainting. There's worse things out there.
What do you think is the best like mid-race snack to keep you going?
Ooh, there's so many good ones. I'm a big fan of just like classic goo gels.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just so dependable. I'm a big fan of the salted watermelon ones with just a little bit of caffeine. I did an ultra marathon one time, a 62-mile run over 12 hours, and I took one of those every 45 minutes and finished the entire thing in with my stomach feeling fine. Then there's also the real food component. Nothing like a good burrito or sometimes you're on a long bike ride in the middle of nowhere and there's a singular taco stand and it's the only thing around you in the desert, and
Yeah.
that's your only choice. So you just have to make it work.
Dude,
So I think
that's gotta be the best taco stand ever.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what's next? You have anything upcoming? Any adventures you want to check off the list? Because
Ooh,
you're about to leave this area for a while.
yeah, yeah.
You're graduating soon, so what's on your bucket list still?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'll fill the time with endless things if I have it. The big thing I want to do for my last Mexico trip for USC
Yeah.
is there's a national park called Sierra San Pedro de Martir,
Okay.
and it's got the highest point in Baja in it. It's this mountain that's 10,000 feet tall. It's a 2-day trek there and back to climb it, unless you're like running it super fast. But there's not that much information online, so I've been trying to get the logistics settled, figure out cars, figure out who I want to bring with me, and get that planned. I think that's coming up in April.
Sweet. Yeah. All right. Stay tuned for that, y'all.
Yeah,
But cool. Well, thank you very much, Matt, for joining me.
of
This
course.
has been a great chat, and I hope you all got to know Matt Ring a little bit better. Yeah,
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
of course.